$1,000,000 question, like you try to figure out why. I'll just speak to our offense, but why offensively we struggle against those teams. I think schematically they do a really good job of taking away, our primary weapons on offense. And, sometimes we just got to be a little more patient, I think, on offense. And you see the game we won against the Saints in the playoffs in 2020, we ran the football, right? I think that's the number one thing you have to do against a defense like that is you have to have them respect the run. And for whatever reason, last year against those teams, we just couldn't do it. We couldn't get the run game going. And, when those D-lines can tee off and the playmakers both those teams have in the secondary, when you're sitting back there throwing the whole game, you're not going to score many points. So obviously we're going to have to establish the run game somehow, try to establish, our identity. Our identity is who we want to be on offense, and that's a running football team. So I think we're going to look back on those games and try to really hone in on those game plans.
Woo! Absolutely. With that said, guys, welcome to Real Bucs Talk. This is Michael Pless, your host. Joined as always my co-host Mark Ramirez, and it's been a little while since we've been on here. It's good to be back on a live stream on a Monday. But like Cam Britt said there, and I think that's kind of what we've been talking about in the past. You and I discussing this team being more balanced, being a little bit more physical up front, being a little bit more run oriented with the play action pass involved. And Mark, I think you would agree with the offseason moves that they've made so far. It seems like that is the direction that they're trying to go, and they know these physical defenses like the Saints, the Rams, etc. They have to do something different than pass it every down.
And it showed the biggest game, the last game of the season against the Rams. You run twice, you gain 2 yards or 10 yards on both consecutive runs, and then you start passing the ball, and all hell breaks loose. This team needs to find an identity that isn't just passing. We get 2-1 Wade. We want to get the other team on Wade too, but we got to start getting a little bit more even. I think this draft showed it. I think the offensive lineman they got, Shaq Mason, really good run blocker. Gadecki, really good run blocker, can move. Tristan Wirfs is just a natural blocker of everything. So I think they are adept to actually run the ball. I think they should do it way more often. And that's not saying, get the ball out of Brady's hands. No, it's just making Brady's decisions that much easier. And when we were winning, like Britt said, in the playoffs 2 years ago, it was because we could run. Lenny was playoff Lenny for a reason. Not just because he was doing individual efforts. They were just running the ball schematically well and consistently. He had almost over 20 carries every game. So I'm hoping they learned from 2 years ago what they didn't do last year. And I don't care about the injuries. You should have just kept running the ball. Don't force Brady to throw 50-something plus balls. So hopefully they did learn. O'Keefe contributing to that. Just adding to the tight end room. Just more blockers. So let's see. Maybe they are doing that. Maybe it's going to be air raid yet again. But it looks like they're lining up to run the ball.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that is going to be the game plan more so this year. I think, offense led by Tom Brady and the receivers, even themselves, they know, hey, we need to be a little bit more balanced up front. And I think that's what they did with the offensive line additions with, like you said, Shaq Mason, a better run blocker, a more physical guy up front that can get out in space and do different things. And then you add Luke Gadecki, who I think has a good opportunity to start, or Aaron Stenny, who can run block as well. So getting more, stout up front, getting more physical. I think that was definitely the plan. But with that said, guys, again, welcome in. It's Real Bucs Talk here live on YouTube. We appreciate all the support and likes, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our channel. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers. We're halfway, almost there. So very excited about that. And be sure to check out our content on the rookies. We did a lot of draft prospect profiles and also Bucs draft picks as well that got selected. So with that said, again, we're just talking about, the Bucs offense as far as the run game. And, obviously I think they're going to try to be a little bit more balanced. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to pass the football. You have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they're going to throw it. And obviously that's their strength. But I think mixing in little bit more physicality is definitely going to be a part of it.
And in no way are we saying let's become the Baltimore Ravens, who just literally want to run the ball every down, or the Browns, who were almost forced to because they had Mayfield throwing I don't know where, and then you have two amazing running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Like Plus said, we are going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, Rashad White can make an impact right away in the passing game. Plus, of course, the running game. Again, not only did you draft guys that can block, you drafted a running back that can run and catch. So it looked like a draft centered around weaknesses and improving on them. And I think it's a smart draft, and I think it's a smart idea, considering Brady's age. You still got to bring it up every time, but also the fact that he shouldn't be throwing that often. Like we mentioned that a lot last year. He's getting a tired arm. Maybe it possibly is it. During the season, start handing the ball off more. Not just because we're up, but making those play action fakes actually worthy of something. There were times last year that no one would even move on a play action fake. They'd even start going backwards. And I was like, this is what happens when you just get so one dimensional. And hopefully they've learned from the tape. And even Cam Britt in that same interview said that Todd Bowles is fixing the little things. He's being very aware of those little things and wanting to key in on those, because those are the little things that add up at the end of the game and where you either win or lose. So hopefully these little things are, let's run it a little bit more, just a little bit, keep it a little bit even.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the key word that, obviously Cam Britt, and guys, if you missed the opening of the show, we started off with Cam Britt's interview, a little clip from it. And he was just talking about, how the offense needs to be a little bit more patient. And I think that's the key word, patience. At times they were trying to, push the tempo maybe a little bit too much when they didn't need to. And sometimes you just got to take a step back and run the football, like Mark is saying. So, yeah, it should be interesting. And, obviously they're gearing up. We've had rookie mini camp go by. We've had a couple OTAs and, Kyle Trask getting some time. Obviously, this is a big moment for him in the offseason. So he's competing for the number 2 spot. I know that's been another big topic of discussion among the fans. And, everyone's talking about how can he not beat Blaine Gabbert out? I think it's just part of the process of his development.
I'm going to say this, though. I texted you this, but Trask just looks more in shape, I'll say. He looks almost like, I don't know if he did learn from Tom, TB12 method. He looks more tight, I guess you'll say. Looks more athletic instead of a husky Southern boy like he did look like last year. He looked more of like a baby fat on him. He's looking more agile, I guess. I don't know, or just more in shape. A better way of saying it. And Cam Britt even said in that same interview, he looks like he has the demeanor for a quarterback. He's got a good head on his shoulders for a quarterback, not letting things get to him and going through his progressions, more comfortable, all good things you want to hear. And then, you had Clyde Christensen saying, oh, he's not going to be number 2. He's going to be number 3. Blaine's ready for number 2. Don't rush the guy. And then Todd Bowles is saying what? What is Todd Bowles saying? Tell me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Todd Bowles. Yeah, he was talking about how Kyle's going to get a good opportunity to compete, for the backup position. So, I think there's going to be competition everywhere. I think the way Clyde's looking at it is we don't have to rush Kyle if he doesn't beat out Blaine for the number 2 spot. Again, they're taking the long term process with him and just trying to build his mechanics and get him ready to hopefully one day lead this team. But again, that time's not right now, and they don't have to focus on it as this coming up season is along the way. So I mean, I think Trask, his biggest thing I saw from last year is just his footwork and his arm mechanics just being more connected. And if you look in the videos, it looks like it's much quicker, much more faster process, and with his release and throwing a good ball. So it'll be exciting to see him in training camp and obviously see him in preseason when, he gets hopefully some more reps with either the number 2s and the number 3s and gets, some good experience.
Yeah, that's something that we broke down in the preseason last year. It looked like when he would throw a ball, he's looking to pull back after the ball's thrown already. It was like a weird, like a pitch, and then you're pulling the arm back after a recoil.
Yeah.
when you look at Tom Brady, he's following through and going with the ball. It looks like he's fixed that here. The mechanics are fixed. He's throwing into the ball. Yes, it's not going to be as quick as Tom Brady. He's not going to be like a Dan Marino. Even Blaine Gabbert, he's got a really quick pass. It's just not accurate. Kyle Trask is very accurate, and it's just a little bit longer. It's not like it's forever. It's not like a Blake Bortles where he's kind of throwing it down and then I don't know what the hell he does, or Byron Leftwich. Maybe the offensive coordinator, but he had one hell of a throwing mechanic. So I think he's improved body-wise, mechanic-wise. Obviously, he has to be more developed into the playbook. So let's see. We don't know. All we know is what the coaches are saying in the press conferences, which they're not going to tell you the full exact truth, and then nothing else because he's been practicing or sitting holding a playbook the whole time. So you don't know until he's on the field. That's when we're going to get answers. But I want to move on to another huge topic. I guess unless anyone wants to kind of jump in there. Let's look at the chat real quick before we jump over to that topic. Emily over here saying, never till 12, his arm is tired. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I will say it just so he gets even more pissed and throws for like 5,000 or 6,000 yards.
He's going to go for 6,000 this year, probably.
Yep, probably. Bud Campbell's in the chat. Patience leads to better vision. Talking about Trask, and that's very true. I mean, don't rush something. You have Tom Brady that have that luxury. Why push a good thing? So believe in Kyle, and with him sitting, he'll be cheaper.
Hey, that's the motto.
I'm thrifty, so that's very true. Very, very true.
It's a good way to look at it.
Oh, Ryan Griffin.
I don't think he'll end up like that. I mean, again, Kyle's not going to be a running quarterback. He's not going to get injured.
I think he means like our guy.
Or is he I see. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Robert Griffin III. Yeah. Ryan Griffin. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think he's going to get an opportunity. Again, he might not like get a start. I mean, it depends on how we go. But I think he'll get an opportunity. There might be competition with another veteran that we bring in, or maybe another draft pick. But again, that's all after Tom Brady, and we don't know when Tom Brady's gonna to hang it up. You don't know when that's gonna take place.
You hope it's a long time from now, but you would think he already signed a contract to talk football after football. He already hinted at it months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. So, I mean, you would assume this is the last year. Everyone's reloading for this big championship run. So I would assume it is. So you gotta be prepared for anything. If it doesn't, great, good. We're all happy Buccaneer fans, but this is the reality of it. Tom's not timeless. No one is, even though it is Tom versus time. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm getting so many plugs for Tom Brady right now. But here's a humongous take here. Winfred Bethune. The Bucs need to move on from Gronk because we lost good and he wasn't healthy. About that.
I don't think they need to move on from him. I think they're definitely want to bring him back. Again, I think Gronk's just trying to skip as many OTAs as possible and probably come in right around training camp and be back for Tom Brady. I think if Tom's giving it one more go, I think Rob's going to be there for him, and Rob is even hinted at signs of coming back. It's just a matter of just timing for him, and obviously he's doing things in the off season right now, and he doesn't need to be there in the facility as we're speaking right now. And training camp, once he gets in there, I think he'll be good to go.
Yeah, what he himself said, he just needs like 2 weeks to get ready and he's back.
Yeah.
Just kind of didn't say anything about it. NFL football player, I'll take 2 weeks and I'll get there.
Yeah. But I mean, Gronk as the player last year, he was outstanding. I thought he was one of the best players on the team, from an offensive skill point. I mean, he was really like coming into his own. And it was unfortunate he had the rib injury, but after that, he still had a great season, almost had 1,000 yards. So he was productive, still a good blocker. I don't think there was anything, slowing him down really.
Right. And that's the thing. the injury bug. He didn't get hurt his first year, and then he got hurt with a bad Brady pass. It was a bad Brady pass. It was not in the right area. He tries to reach back for him.
Yeah.
Ribs
Yeah.
all
Brady
exposed.
even said that.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah.
Those who say that Brady doesn't mess up anytime, like he does at times. But to me, if Gronk comes back, he's immediately number one, tight end one, best blocker of the tight ends, biggest catch radius of all the tight ends, probably the fastest of all our tight ends in that room. I mean, any way you look at it, he's going to be the best one in that automatic Hall of Famer. And it's not like he's playing an old guy; he's still young.
Yeah.
It's whether he wants to play or not. And I think, like you said, if Brady's on the team, he's going to be back. He's just waiting for his time to come in.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Gronk is done. I wish him the best. We'll see. We'll see. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, and again, thank you guys for joining us. If you're just coming in, we talked a little bit about how the offensive philosophy might change. I can't speak today, but yeah, it might be changing a little bit to more of a run-oriented, more balanced physical football team. And I think when we look at the offseason moves that have been made, obviously the additions of Kadecki, the left guard in the draft, and then also getting a Cade Otton, Keefe as well, adding Shaq Mason. So just getting more physical up front, more better balanced players that can block and pass protect. So it should be interesting to see what kind of approach they take. Now, Todd Bowles did come out and say, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to win the game. There's no, we have to run it this certain amount of times or pass it this, amount of times. So it should be very interesting to see how training camp is going to be run. I think you're going to see a little bit more physical battles in training camp, a little bit more one-on-ones with the top players. So that should be fun to see. So yeah, it should be exciting. And then, obviously we talked a little bit about Kyle Trask and his development. I think he is going to get compete for that number 2 spot. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and always, bring the questions, bring some comments if you have anything you want to discuss. But Mark, I'll send it back to you, and let's just continue.
Here's probably the biggest debatable question. I think that we've kind of pushed on it a couple times. I want to see what everyone thinks in the chat too. To me, it's a big one. So you don't have Ndamukong Suh. He's gone. You don't have JPP.
Right.
He's gone. It doesn't sound like they're wanting to sign back either. You're going to run with a Logan Hall, your second round pick, who was your first pick, as your plug and play. I mean, and you're going to have to be relying on a guy that doesn't stop the run well, but will improve on your pass rush on the interior of your line. Yes, that was somewhere we kind of struggled. If you put him with Vita Vea, it could look pretty nasty. You double Vea, Logan Hall gets a little seal, and he's in there. It sounds amazing. But when it ruins the integrity of your entire defense, like we saw with JTS, he would have some run fits he would mess up, and it'd go gash us, like in the Jets game. What the hell happens? We're down so fast. That's what happens if your integrity of your defense starts to deteriorate, things like that. You lost 2 great veterans, and now you're filling it in with a young guy you're hoping to, from a small school to be exact, to fill in and be that guy that Ndamukong Suh was. To me, that's a hard sell for me. And I don't know if I'm buying it. It will be more exciting to see because you'll probably see a lot more break open guys. But I'm a little worried about that one. I mean, to me, the interior is still like I know Nunez Roches is there, Nacho's there.
Right.
But just maybe we haven't seen what Sinet can do, the USF or USF Bull.
Right.
But I mean, that area really scares me. And then you already know me about pass rushers. Let's expand on that. And guys in the chat, let me know. How, do you feel excited for this? Are you still worried? Where's your head at?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys follow Real Bucs Talk and follow our live streams, obviously our draft prospect profiles as well, and just talking draft, and you could tell that our preference was adding more to the front 7, adding more pass rushers, adding more defensive linemen in general. Obviously they felt Logan Hall with the position that they're in and trading back, getting more assets, and they got a guy who can really fix their biggest problem they felt, which is interior pressure, getting that quick rush up the field. And obviously he's going to be counted on a lot, to do that. And it's a lot of pressure, like you said, asking a rookie to come in and be ready to win one-on-ones right away. So they're going to have to, again, manufacture pressure in different ways. JTS, Shaq Barrett are going to have to win their matchups and be studs. Vita Vea is going to have to play a bigger role. But I agree with you. I hope they add more depth. I hope they can find some veterans, or maybe they find some guys that get cut coming up in the later months here as we get close to the season. But, I would like to see, I love Akeem Hicks. He's out there. I would love to add a guy who can, even bring back Carl Nassib. I would be okay with that. Finding players that can come in and still, add value to special teams, but also add value to your depth. And they don't have to start. They can just rotate in and be, a valuable piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, and I know I'm really big on this, but I'll kind of expand on it. Sue and JPP, two proven winners, two huge guys in the locker room on your sideline. If a team's going down, that what's it called, the snowball effect?
Yeah, quicksand,
right?
Yep.
And you have Logan Hall, a young guy, is losing. I can't win. Is Vita Vea going to be the guy that calms him down? Is William Golson going to be the guy that calms him down? JTS, or second-year pro?
It's going to have to be one of them, Shaq Barrett or Vita Vea or William Golson.
Vita Vea has never been the big vocal leader. He's more the quiet, says two words in his press conferences guy. I mean, so
he's going to have to lead the.
But you can't force something that someone doesn't naturally do. Devon White is a natural born leader. He's rah-rah. He's going to help you guys get up. And that's what someone over here is saying, like, but Campbell's player most pressure to improve, Devon White. So then you're going to put even more on Devon White in that fashion. He has to stop the run. He has to cover receivers, tight ends, running backs, but also be a leader for everyone, not just his room, but everyone.
Yeah.
That's a lot to ask.
Well, I don't think they're going to put that much on him. Again, it's
who steps. I mean, Devon White is no matter what
leadership
leader, but just in that room itself is my thing.
Yeah, I mean, leadership comes in different ways. Again, there's all sorts of leadership. You can do it by example. You can do it through your voice. You can do it, just by showing up every day and with your work ethic. So there's a lot of different ways they can go about it, but I think they have guys in that room that is going to be the voice that people can depend on. Will Golston has done this for a long time. He's becoming that guy. He followed Sue around and he's stepped up his game. Vita Vea, I think, is a capable leader that can, maybe he doesn't talk much on, hold on one second. Sorry. Some problems with Bucs report there, but he doesn't talk much as far as the press conferences, but he talks a lot as far as in the locker room, and he can be a guy that just goes out there and dominates, and people are going to follow that. So I'm just saying there's many ways you can lead, and I think Devon White, Levante David, they got plenty of veteran guys on there. Now you add a Logan Ryan who's going to help the back end be more sound. Yeah, I don't think that's a big issue. I think it's just finding ways to match that production that, Sue gave you and JPP gave you on the field, and finding that consistency with the new guys that are coming in.
Okay, then let me ask you that question. Did they find that?
Well, I mean, we're going to see. Obviously JTS has to step up. I said it today. I think he's the biggest guy that needs to take that biggest leap going into this year. I know he's just a second-year player, but they drafted him to be that speed rusher, that pass rusher that can get and create pressure. He's going to have to do it. Him and Shaq Barrett going to have to be, studs back there along with Vita Vea. Those are your three main dudes that have to produce. And, now they're just counting on other guys, whether it's Will Golston or Logan Hall, to win, those one-on-ones, and they have to do it.
To me, I can see it, then I cannot, because the thing was, someone made the argument JTS gets more reps. He's going to improve with time. I can agree with that. He had a whole offseason to learn the system.
Mhm.
Run fits he was missing should be a little bit better, a lot better to be exact. A stronger upper half, stronger lower half. Understanding what he has to do in the system should all be there. Shaq should be balling. Let's put it that way. So to
Yeah.
quote a la Jameis, it should be balling on that outside. But if you add in a Logan Hall with his quick pressure, I'm not sold on our deal. I agree, supply and demand. I'm trying to sell and buy at the same time. It's because it's complicated because it's just so reliant on unproven factors. Because you have JTS who is very high potential. Like I loved him going to college. He's got the prototype edge rush, speed, bend, length, everything you want. He looks like a freak. He could get 10 sacks every year. But we haven't seen it yet. We saw him get 2 sacks in the national televised game against the Patriots, and then he kind of sputtered down, didn't really have many big plays, but he still was turning the corner.
Right.
Thing is, with more reps, because JPP is not there, does he start turning into that? Like a consistent guy that can play inside and outside. Imagine hell, Vita Vea, JTS, and Hall on the same interior. That'd be insane. Who the hell can stop that?
Yep.
So the multiple abilities they all have is really intriguing and fun to think about in a pass rush sense. But when it comes to the entirety of a game, teams will try and start running now. They used to think they couldn't run at all. And now what happens when they start? We're no longer number one. Start getting to 15, and does it start to get them come closer? And that's what they wanted. And are Buck fans okay with that? I mean, you're to me, the way you're lining this up, we're not going to be still number one against the run. And to me, that is that big of a deal of Sue and JPP. It's just the players of they're really good, technically sound, and I don't know, but am I just rambling, or what does everyone think? What do you think about that?
No, I think you're onto something. Obviously, the loss is a big deal with losing veterans like that, and new guys have to step up and step in and play more significant snaps. Anthony Nelson's going to have to step up his game, and I think he did that last year. So if he can continue to be better, and you add in Nacho, who's been reliable, Patrick O'Connor, I think came on before his injury, so those guys are going to have to produce. Cam Gill's going to have to play a bigger role. So it's going to be a process. So we just have to wait and see how they're going to utilize these guys. Again, it could be different, and we don't really know yet how they're going to stack it. And maybe JTS took a big leap as far as understanding where to be in run fits. The same could be said with Logan Hall. Again, he's a rookie, I know that, but these NFL coaches, they can coach these guys up, and now you're doing this full time. Maybe the run defense from his college tape is not something we're going to see in the NFL. We thought the same thing with Tristan Wirfs with his pass protection. They coached it up, they cleaned it up, and now he's an all-pro dominant. Again, I know he's a first overall, first pick. There's a difference there, but I'm just don't underrate the coaching and the scheme, and as far as how they can manufacture run defense. And I think that is something that gets missed just because, Sue and JPP, yeah, they're in the right spot, but that scheme is what makes it happen as far as they overload to stop the run. And I don't think that's going to change. So we have to wait and see how that plays out. Yeah, it's going to be different. But at the same time, I think when they did.
Agree with that one too.
What?
But Darren Morgan said, I think Anthony Nelson is underrated as well. So you put that, another great run defender, in there as well.
Right. Yeah. And, final thought on this is just, we just have to wait and see how they're going to play. I think guys are going to be improved. And I know it's asking a lot, but I think these guys they're going to step up and be fine. The main thing I think is Levante David and Devon White being healthy. That's going to be a big thing. And you still have Vita Vea back there. And if they give up more rushing yards, but they improve in the secondary, improve pass coverage, that's a win. I mean, that's what the game's about. You got to stop the pass. And if you find ways to get more pressure on the quarterback, then that's really what's going to make the difference.
I can agree with that.
Mm.
And another point to that, they did upgrade heavily in the secondary to me, not just in cornerback, but in the safety room, the experience that they all have in there.
Well, just
And
being healthy is going to be a big factor. That's the biggest thing.
hell, and I mean, you don't hope Zion plays often, but yeah, let's hope people can stay healthy.
Mm.
But just the experience in that room, they've all been together for what, 4 years now, all of them together. So
Yeah.
they should know what the hell they're doing. Does their bodies hold up? That's the big key. And then to me, another year with KJ Britt, I'm anxious to see how much he's taken a step forward.
Mhm.
If and when David or Devon White need a breather or something. Hopefully no injuries, but again,
Yeah.
it's the game we're playing. KJ Britt was a pretty big thumper in the special teams, and when he had to play in little sparing moments, he was not an idiot, and he seems like a baller. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, another year of maturation with those guys, I'm anxious to see. And uh, behind the defensive line, I'm more confident than the defensive line, which is kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think
I
they go
just
together.
and again, you're going to have, when it comes to the NFL and the salary cap, you're going to have depth concerns along your team. I mean, not every position is going to be as deep as receiver is on this team. It's not going to be, we're not going to have depth everywhere. It's tough, and that's why you have to continue to draft well. You got to continue to develop these guys. Guys are going to get bigger opportunities than they've had before, and you got to hope that the coaches and the players step up and make the plays. Mike Edwards is stepping up into a starting role. We don't know how he's going to be full time. Even though he's had some starts, this is going to be a full season for him, and it's a big one. Again, entering a contract year. So you look at that, you look at JTS stepping up into a starter role. And you even said it, KJ Britt, he's going to be the backup linebacker, it looks like right now, to these guys. He's going to have to step up his game. Same thing with Grant Stewart. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be some different things on defense. I think the one consistent that we've been talking about, though, is the offense should improve. They should be better, right? If the offense is better, if the offense starts better, starts quicker in more games more consistently, guess what? We should have the lead, and that helps your defense play with the lead.
Also, if you're running the ball, you're getting time for your defense to breathe.
Yeah.
That's something they didn't really have last year. It was like, oh, 3 and out. Let's go get the hell back out there. And the defense. Why the hell they didn't stop him 5 times in a row for our offense to start getting on track? That blew my mind. And hopefully they learned again. Start running the ball a little bit. Give your defense some breaks. Maybe that is why. Bulls' perspective. How many damn times you want me to go out here and save the damn day and then get blamed for pointing the finger at? Because at the end of the day, where you should have been putting up more points for me, maybe that's the good perspective we needed. The little things of let's run it a little bit more so my defense can breathe.
Yeah.
Not have oxygen tanks every 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does, it does add up. And I think, all Bucs fans, the fans in the chat, they can all agree. We've watched a lot of games over the years. Our defense would get how many stops in a row, like multiple stops in a row, and their offense just couldn't do anything with their opportunities. And we saw that even in the last game of the year. The defense, even though we were down at 1 point 20-3, they were making stops. They were giving us opportunities to, make the score, even give us an opportunity to get the lead. And we just couldn't capitalize. So yeah, there's got to be more balance overall from the team perspective. And I think that's what you're going to see going forward. And if you do have to give up some defense to do that, and it helps you make more impact plays as a defense, that's what Todd Bowles is looking for. He's going to be aggressive. We know that. He's still going to blitz the hell out of teams. And now with a healthy secondary who can play his coverage and understand where to be at all times and not have breakdowns, there could be better consistency overall.
Yeah, and we'll see. But a lot of people were talking about Cam Gill in the chat. So I'll bring his name up. Emily brought it up. What about Gill? He was impressive in the little time I saw. The biggest time he showed up was in the biggest game of his career in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And supply and demand showed it. Gill only was in the Super Bowl, haven't heard from since, which is very true because he doesn't have many opportunities either. So, and a lot more comments that Gill can't play in base. Britt scares me in pass coverage. I agree with that. And Hall is going to struggle in base. So a lot of talking points here. Gill can't play in base. Yeah, he looks like a more of a pass situation type of dude.
Yeah, designated pass rusher.
Yeah, because I mean, he's not 6'7", 275 like Anthony Nelson, but
Yeah.
I mean, neither is Shaq Barrett. So doesn't necessarily mean he can't do it. You can scheme up a lot of things. You can be used in a lot of ways. It's can Todd Bowles get him off the field? Does he have the ability to drop back? Does he have the ability to get after it and just do enough in the running game? Has he improved in that way? We don't know. We're going to find out in preseason. Because I don't know if y'all remember, Shaq Barrett was playing in the last preseason game against the Cowboys the year that he had his, 19 and a half sack season. So he was one of those fringe guys, and then Noah Spence is gone. Shaq Barrett makes it, and then damn near breaks literally every record as a Buccaneer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy.
You never know. You just never know. He was a backup to all the Broncos guys, and boom, jumps onto the scene as a Buccaneer, and everyone loves him. So let's see what happens in Tampa Bay. That you never know. You just never know.
No, you don't. I mean, yeah, it's, and that's why I said we have to wait and see how this defense is going to play. And again, every year is a new season. We're not going to be the same team that we were last year, obviously, with new personnel on both sides. So there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some, philosophy a little bit different with Todd Bowles as the head coach, and just have to, hope those guys that are put in the position, they do their jobs. And I think that's the biggest thing going into this season is guys just being consistent and understanding, what is their job and make sure they do it the right way.
And that's one big thing with continuity. That's why, like, with me in the secondary, I'm like, there's a lot of experience. All these guys have been built up together. The communication should be there.
Motivated too.
Yeah.
A lot of contract years, so they know they have to play well. They have to do their job, and some pressure on them too, because they know last year they didn't stay healthy, and this year they definitely want to, fight that off and be healthy the full season and have a good year. So I think, yeah, there you go. Darren says it well there. Healthy secondary is going to help the pass rush. It's going to help the defense overall be better. And I think that's why, if the run defense is not as good as it was in the past, get after the quarterback more and make bigger plays.
You get more splash plays based on that.
Yeah.
Not just sitting, because I can't stand when they just rush the 4, drop everyone back. I'm like, that never worked. Ever worked. I'm sorry to reference a Jets game. It just blew my mind that was ever a game. First half, they just kept doing it. Like rushing 4 and dropping everyone back. I'm like, you want to make it any easier for this damn team?
Yeah.
And then they just flipped the script. Zone blitzes, left and right, bang, bang, bang. Quick decisions. Oh, can't make a quick decision. Like, what happens? And that's kind of why by supply and demand saying this. If I were coach, I'd make Devon White an edge rusher.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see him. It depends on health again. Like if the secondary's healthy and Levante David is his normal self, I think you're going to see Devon White utilized more as the A gap blitzes that we're used to seeing. And he's got to finish those. I think he had opportunities last year where he just didn't finish. Could have more sacks. He's not going to be that 9-sack guy that you saw in 2020. That's just not going to happen. But he can give you, 3 to 5 sacks and still make big time plays for your defense. And I think definitely he's going to need to do that. Like Bud Cannibals said earlier, he does need to improve and have a big year this year and have more, be that force for us like he was in 2020.
Do you think he's the biggest on the defense of all the levels?
No, I said Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. I think he needs to be the best this year. He's got to take the biggest leap and really, take his game to the next level and be that consistent edge off the threat. So Shaq Barrett can, get his one-on-ones as well, and they both can dominate.
No, maybe I'll take the opposite side. Maybe I'll take Shaq Barrett. I mean, JTS, he shouldn't have any, like, all eyes on him. It should be Vita Vea, the big money guy, and Shaq Barrett, who draw attention. But Shaq Barrett's got to literally get in there and do the deal that he says he's going to do.
Yeah,
How many times
ideally,
he wants to be the best. He wants to be. Well, I want to see it. I know you improved a lot last year, and I was supporting him left and right, saying that he's in coverage, he's where he needs to be at a lot of times. Let's see the numbers start to add up together to that. He's good in everywhere. I just want to see him take that next step, I guess.
right. Yeah, I agree. I think, with Shaq and Vita, there should be 4 bodies on them at all times. 2, I mean 2 on each. So there's 4 guys right there taking, 2 guys taking up 4 guys pretty much. So that leaves one-on-ones for the others, JTS and Logan Hall, and they have to win those. And, they should be able to do that. So we'll see how that goes, see how it plays out. I think with a healthy secondary, they'll have the opportunity to drop more coverage and play more coverage and not have to blitz as much. But this is Todd Bowles we're speaking of. He's still going to blitz the hell out of teams. He's over 40% in blitz rate. That's not going to change. So you're still going to see the crazy blitzes. I think you're going to see Antoine Winfield be more of a blitzer this year, which will be exciting because they have Mike Edwards to be more of the free safety, and they're going to drop Winfield more into the slot where he can come off the edge. But again, it all depends on your guys being healthy. Jamel Dean has to be out there, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Carlton Davis, et cetera, et cetera. So that plays a big part.
I want to talk on this because now supply and demand and Darren Morgan are saying this. So says I agree with supply and demand. Devon White, best attribute is his ability to rush the passer. He definitely didn't play like a top 5 pick last year. We need to play off Devon White 2 years ago. So 2 things. Devon White is a middle linebacker. He's not an edge rushing linebacker. He's not an outside linebacker. His main focus is the middle of the field and what's happening and telling people what are the calls. He has a lot of responsibilities on him. When Vontae Davis wasn't there, it was all on him.
Yeah.
So he does a lot more than just going after the quarterback. That's one thing where people think they didn't see the sack numbers he had that 1 year, and they're like, oh, terrible year.
Yeah.
The year he had 9 sacks, he looked lost in coverage. I mean, doing circles in the middle of the field. He didn't do that last year. Huge improvement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He didn't see the sack. That's not what his position is supposed to do. He can A-gap blitz, like Plus just said recently. But think about that. If they send him on an A-gap blitz and someone has to move over to pick him up, and then you have Logan Hall who can win a one-on-one way faster than anyone else we've had, that's easy pickings for him. It's using the guys that you really do have that are known for their names and production, and then putting guys that no one knows, JTS, Logan Hall, they should be able to eat because of that. Guys that can feed off of greater players, and hopefully that's what the recipe they're trying to throw out there, but we don't know yet. I mean, that's to me, that would be the greatest thing. Devon White's coming in. Holy crap, we got to move over to him, and then Logan Hall, he's in a gap, he's gone.
Yeah,
I guess that's what a 3-tech's supposed to do. Fly into a gap when someone leaves it, and you're right there at the quarterback. So that's the end goal. Don't rely on Devon White for 9 or greater sacks. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not going to add anything to that. I would just say Devon White just had a lot on his plate last year when Levante went down. He's trying to do too much. So I think you're going to see Devon just be more patient. He's going to let things come to him, not try to force the issue. When he does that, he plays much better football. And I think he'll have a great season this year. Again, it's a big year for him as well. He's trying to get a contract extension. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of things going well for him this year, I think. But good questions here in the chat. Let's keep it going. Supply and demand. Do you think Keanu Neal hard hits will change the attitude of this nice guy D? I think this defense is physical. I don't think he's going to bring some physical play to it. That's just how he goes. I don't know if he's like a full Jordan Whitehead where he just lays out his body, but yeah, Keanu Neal is he's going to be a smart player for them, and he's going to bring some definitely physical play. But they have physical players all over. I mean, Levante and Devon hit hard. Antoine Wood
hurts his own damn teammates.
Yeah, because he's going so fast. So yeah, we got plenty of physical guys up front and in the secondary. So I don't think it's going to change much, but obviously he's going to have some type of impact. I think he'll definitely help as far as being an extra guy in the box, and that will definitely help your run defense, like we talked about. So I don't think he's going to lose much of a step. I think that defense is still going to be strong against the run because that's what they want to stop first. And then talking a little bit about Shaq Mason, upgrade. I think you would say he's an upgrade, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For Kappa, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now he's going to be the right guard. That's where Kappa was. They're looking at left guard. So is Stinney slotted as the starting guard? According to over here in Our Lads, technically, let's go take a peek. He is their starting guard, left guard right now. But still, there has to be a competition that's going to happen. It was just Luke Gadecki or Gadecki. Some people were getting mad at us for pronouncing it wrong. Gadecki was a second-round pick, potentially could be the fill-in. Stinney's there because of experience. He played in the Super Bowl, but you don't know. Like, let's let the cards play out. Does he pick up the system fast, or is Stinney already have it down and gradually it'll take over? We'll see. Angie, I think, is just the center. I don't know if he's big enough to fill in that guard.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, I think it's going to be a competition between those three. But that right side, insane. Insane to me. Like, that Shaq Mason trade was ridiculous. I think if we want to run, that would be ridiculous to run to that right side or pull Shaq Mason to go behind Donovan Smith. Craziness.
Right. Yeah. No, they have options, and that's the best thing. They have options to run the football either way, and I think they just, and I said it earlier, we both said it. It's just more balance up front, more balance up on the offensive line. They can do a lot of different things with the run game, and I think that will be a good thing to see. But yeah, Shaq is one of the top guards in this league. So getting a guy like him, that's definitely an upgrade. And then I think on the left side, personally, I feel Gadecki is going to start, or Gadecki. He's gonna he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it done. So I just feel like his technique is so advanced. He's an upgrade over Robert Hainsey at this time, even though I think Robert is going to be the eventual center for this team if Ryan, if he's still on the team when Ryan leaves. But Robert, I think, is just a good depth piece to have, in case of an injury. So you can't have enough offensive linemen. And I know a lot of people are talking about draft status and all this. There's a 3rd round pick last year. He should be starting by now. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. And it's good. It's good to, it's good to invest in the offensive line, and that's what they did. So,
how did they say it? What did they say?
What?
How did they say this? That he was a 3rd round pick.
There.
3rd round pick.
Yeah. Third round pick. He should be, he should be a starter already. Out of Notre Dame. Best offensive line school.
He's out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame. He should be, good as Quentin Nelson because, damn it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like Gadecki. I think he's gonna have a good chance. Stinney, I think, is again reliable. He has experience, but we still haven't seen him, start a whole season. So there's questions there. But I think it's gonna sort itself out in training camp, and it should be really, really fun to watch.
I hope it does. I hope you're right. I hope Gadecki ends up prevailing on top. He has all the intangibles.
Yeah, the biggest thing for him is just switching to left guard. Again, he's coming from right tackle to left guard, just making those technique adjustments. But I think he'll be fine because he just knows how to play a game. He already has good bend with his movements, good footwork. So again, it's just catching up with the speed because now everything's coming at you so much faster as a guard. But I think he'll be fine because he's just so damn physical.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Like, the ref just got hit by the puck in the face.
Awesome. That's well deserved. They deserve that for tonight's game.
But speaking on, I got to bring this up. Supply and demand is really logical. He's over here saying we should trade Donnie for Devo.
Oh, boy.
Put Wirfs at left tackle, Gadecki at right tackle, solved. There's so much wrong with that statement.
Oh, my God.
I'll let you take it first.
Well, I mean, first of all, San Francisco is going to decline, so that's not gonna pass. Like they're not going to trade Debo Samuel for just Donovan Smith. We probably have to add in a first round pick, maybe a couple, to get him. I don't know, but I wouldn't trade Donnie. I think Donnie's a good left tackle. I think he's a lot of people look at the Rams game and say he had a bad day. Sure, I mean it wasn't great by the whole offensive line. They all had bad games, but Donnie's been consistent. He's been there every game. He doesn't miss games, and he's above average left tackle that does his job. So
you're not going to get a Hall of Famer at every position. That's the thing that kind of blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah, and Tristan Wirfs we're just going to move Tristan Wirfs from the right side to the left side and expect him to be great at left tackle.
That was what I was talking about, like moving everyone around.
Yeah. And Kadecki's moving inside for a reason. He has short arms. He can't play right tackle.
What? Well, I think he was just joking around the whole time.
I know. It's all good. I love the idea. That'd be awesome if it got accepted, but no, it's not going to happen.
With how some of the trades have been going this offseason,
you don't know. You don't know.
I mean, 2 years ago, we didn't think we were going to get Brady. We didn't think Gronk was going to sign.
I'm expecting Peyton Manning to come out of retirement anytime soon. Andrew Luck, maybe as well.
He almost was talking about it or joking about it.
Drew Brees is coming back.
Just keep your ass at home. But that would be the ultimate slap to Jameis's face. You know what? I'm coming back. Get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
Speaking of retirements, I don't know if anybody saw, but a great article on Ali Marpet and his retirement. I think I'll have to put the link in the description below, but it was a really good article just detailing how he's going to get involved with mental health and do some different things there. I thought that was really awesome to see, and just like he wanted to have life after football. It wasn't all about taking those consistent hits that they have to go through, and I thought that was pretty cool to see. And obviously he made his money, so he's doing well.
Was it this year or not this year, like last year or the year before, where he actually did get?
He had a concussion.
Was that last year or was it the year before though?
I want to say it was I think it was the Super Bowl year, if I'm not mistaken. He had a concussion, and
he did miss time for it.
Right.
And that's what Gronk did. I mean, Gronk had to call out because he's like, you know what? I can't.
Plus, he's had surgeries and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm more power to him. I'm happy for that he got to retire. But I just thought that was a really good article. I'll have to put in the link after this is after we're done here.
Yeah, I mean, every Buck fan is going to be very happy with Ali Marpet. Whatever he's going to do, he was the player. Literally did everything, any position, right guard, center, left guard. Did anything you wanted and did it with a smile on his face and was literally like a leader in that room. So I have nothing but nice things to say about Ali Marpet, and I think every Buccaneer fan wishes he would come back, but let the guy be happy with his decision and enjoy the rest of his young life, right?
Yeah.
With how crazy times are these days where you see these guys going too young, and if he's already figuring out mental health needs to be fixed, let him do it now. Like quickly. Address it and just move forward and enjoy our life.
Yeah, definitely. Again, guys, if you're just joining us, again, this is Real Bucs Talk. We're live here on YouTube. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate your comments. Again, always good discussion with you all. We try to do this, every other Monday. Again, we'll get back to more of a, every Monday once the season rolls around and we got, games to discuss and a lot more information at hand. But again, we're just going over some Bucs news, some our thoughts about how this team could be more physical coming up on offense, and also questions on defense that still remain unsolved. But that's the beauty of training camp coming up. So again, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We're going to try to bring some different content as we move forward to training camp and stuff like that. We're going to do some more different types of videos, also draft content. We're going to, continue to dive into and just give you guys new perspectives. And that's what it's all about.
And I hope you guys like all of our draft content. We're going to try and do it year round this time around. Yeah. So when you guys ask, why are we doing guys that probably won't be available for the Bucs? It's because we're trying to look at the talent coming in. We're not just looking at Buck only players.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes those guys do fall based off of character, based off of injury. You never know. So we're looking from the beginning just to see the new youthful talent that's coming into the league, and it is very damn fun.
Yeah.
And the Lightning are moving forward. Looks like in 22.1 seconds, it's 2-0.
Yeah.
Good damn day in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we'll just close out the show on this, just talking about this remarkable team that is the Tampa Bay Lightning. I can't give them enough credit. You look at how an organization should be run, that's the way to do it. Like, they just know how to win. They know how to do everything right. And, obviously they have the roster, they have the talent, they have the coaching, and it's just a fun team that is on their way to just greatness. I mean, they are on the cusp of greatness. So it's really awesome to see.
I love all this, guys. Blind Man, thank you. Bud Cannabis.
Sweet.
Sweeping of the Lightning.
Yeah.
Emily, thank you again. Go Bucs. Great pod, guys. It's all you guys bring the questions too. Like, you guys kind of feed our minds too of like, what should we look into? What should we dive deeper and figure out what the heck are the Bucs doing? Why are they doing this? It's not just our intrigue. It's you guys asking the question. I always say that. You guys kind of run the show as well. So thank you for always being here and asking those awesome, deep questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know if we're thinking of doing more shorter videos, more videos that maybe are just about one topic, and we, dive into that and discuss it. We'd love to get your feedback on that. Also, if there's any feedback of certain players that you want to look at, just little questions like this. Like, we can do a whole video on this. Why didn't we draft a DT? Well, we drafted Logan Hall, but maybe why did we not draft more? That's always a good, good thing to discuss. And we talked a little bit about that today earlier, addressing the departures of Ndamukong Suh and JPP. So a lot of things to come. Again, we're just getting started here at Real Bucs Talk. It's we're still growing. There's a lot of things that we want to dive into, and we're starting to get the content where we want it, but always room for improvement. Absolutely.
Heck yeah, guys. And thank you very much. Enjoy a Bolts win. And gosh, the season seems so far away, but it's going to get here really fast, guys. I'm telling you that. And with that coming, a lot more content comes too. So it's going to be fun for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Be sure to give us a like, give us a thumbs up, hit some comments down below of your thoughts. If there's any other questions or content that you guys are looking for, be sure to, provide that information. We'll do our best to put it out there. So with that said, everyone have a great night. Go Bolts and go Bucs. Till the next one.